Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And did you ever put butter on a Pop Tart? I did, and now I'll never get to be a virgin. But for the last week, I've been carrying the Cold Steel Formax Scout. And right out the gate, this is something that Adam for America traded me for some beads. So let's take a second in the comments to thank him for helping make this possible. Now let's dive into this thing. First things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. We have got Gryvex on the scales. We have got thumb studs. Let's flick the stud. We got a 4-inch blade in AUS 10A. And normally I'm not too worried about bringing up the weight on a knife, but this one is 10.2 ounces. She got some gravity to her. And of course we got the triad lock, which, again, for a back lock, one of the few exceptions I will make and be happy about is for a triad lock. I just think they're neat. But this thing was definitely a challenge in some respects. I am not a fan of modifying stuff while I'm carrying it for review. It doesn't feel fair, but I had to modify this. And let me show you what's going on with that. And this Knaps tool, I love it so much. That was one of the best things I picked up at Blade Show by far. This makes it so easy to pull screws out. But while we're doing this, you guys having a good day? I'm having a good day. I'm off work. I am tired. The last few days have been a lot of work, but they've been good. So let's, come on, do my bidding. Get out of here. Okay, so you got to take the pocket clip off on this and take a Dremel tool or some sandpaper and put you a nice smooth spot right here. The surface on this thing is basically skateboard grip tape. And right up under this clip, it made it incredibly difficult to either put into the waistband and remove it or put it in the pocket and remove it. All right, in the waistband, it was basically giving me a wedgie pulling the side of my pants up so far. And in the pocket, it was doing the same thing, but it was in a more convenient spot, so the results weren't as bad. It still pulled the side of my pants all the way up, and suddenly I had high waters on, but a little bit less uncomfortable than the waistband. Let's put the pocket clip back on. And one thing I did end up doing was taking my keys and getting up under the pocket clip and lifting it a few times to try to relax it a hair. And once I did those two things, it got a ton better. A ton. I can't argue with that. It's just, in most cases, I will say having to modify it right out of the box is kind of unforgivable. And as much of a Cold Steel fanboy as I am, I hate having to say that about one of the Cold Steels, unless it's the 1911. But, I gotta be fair, I gotta be objective, and that is something that, I'm not okay with. Now, once you get those modifications done, it's a lot better to carry. It becomes like Cold Steel pocket tank grade easy to carry. And I did enjoy carrying this quite a bit. These pocket tanks and pocket swords, you guys know I love them so much, and this is one of those really good ones now that this part's been straightened out. Let's flick the stud again. And while I was carrying it, I was able to be fearless about doing some heavier work than I normally do. So we had a door at work where the screws are stripped out on the latch. It is not a good door to have a messed up latch on. So I did what you're supposed to do. All right, I took a chunk of pallet, a small one, granted, small one about the size of a carpenter's pencil, and I did some miniature batoning with it and then laid it down sideways and just chopped on it until I got most of the way through so I could snap it cleanly. The goal was to jam it in the holes in the door where the screws went and tighten them down and secure them again. Now that didn't work because the door frame is hollow and the screws are like that long and they go into cinder block, which is completely stripped out, so there's no fixing it with the tools I have available to me or the knowledge I have available to me. But that's besides the besides. I didn't really care. It's not that I didn't care, but I was confident that I could do that without destroying the edge, and it had the weight to back it up. Like if I tried that with something like this, one, it wouldn't do that chopping test so good, or wouldn't do the chopping work so good. The miniature batoning I did to split that, it'd be okay. This thing, yeah, miniature batoning. I did that. I had it set up there, and I just popped it with the back of my hand and split that stuff. It was great. And chopping it sideways like I did also wouldn't really work that good. I'd have to pound on the back of it. I wouldn't be worried about damaging the lock or anything like that on a modern folder, but there's also that shell shock from the old knives I had back in the day where you'd have a lock failure, pivot failure, or the blade would just snap off just because old 440A or old surgical stainless just didn't like doing stuff like that. So that was very enjoyable. Um, it was quite comfortable in the waistband. It's a cold steel pocket tank. They make them so that they are comfortable and easy to carry. Like they do. They're good at it. They had a swing and a miss on this pocket clip combined with this surface, but aside from that, in the waistband, I definitely felt it being there. This bad boy is thick. He thick, boy. You notice it's there, and the weight is also very noticeable. But it wasn't uncomfortable in the pocket, and I did carry it in the pocket quite a bit. It was just easier to put it back there after I pulled it, used it, and had to put it back in a hurry, because this one did take digging around in the waistband quite a bit to get it clipped in, and I didn't have time for that. It carried comfortably in the pocket, but you see how wide this is and how thick this is? It took up quite a bit of real estate. It was a definite challenge to get in there, pull stuff out of my pocket around it. And, if you're not like me and you don't have a big wad of keys and other small things in the pocket you got to reach for constantly, it's not going to be as big of a deal to you. It carried very well in the pocket aside from the amount of space it took up. And again, that's cold steel for you. Cutting the plastic off of pallets, it did a really good job on that up until you hit, a section that had no tension on it, just like every other edge. Going sideways, cutting pallets apart, it did okay, but because there wasn't enough tension on it, it did, it wadded some areas up and had a hard time cutting it. But all the other work I did with it did great. I pushed it through some cardboard. It was like a laser. I love these things. And let's take a look at the factory edge on this thing. It is a cold steel factory edge. I'm a bit of a fanboy, and this is definitely one of those cold steel factory edges. I love a cold steel factory edge, unless it's the 1911. This paper is not cooperating, God almighty. The last take, it cut beautifully. This take, it's not having it. There we are. So that's the factory edge that I love, and I've said it before, but cold steel kind of sets the bar for factory edges for me. They're not the best in human history. I'm sure if I really, really looked, I could find better factory edges, but cold steel does a very, very good job on their factory edges, and that's what's kind of spoiled me. I find a factory edge that's not up to this standard, I gotta say something about it. It's not there for me, and what else can I say? This is a cold steel pocket tank. I love my pocket tanks. I love my pocket swords, pocket cleavers. The oversized stuff that's kind of hilarious always gets me. And this was a ton of fun to show to coworkers. My assistant store manager, he is into knives, not quite the same way I am, but he was going to go to Blade Show until his schedule kind of boned him out of that. And he was thoroughly impressed by it when I showed him. It's a fantastic knife, and on Amazon, they're like $58 right now. I saw one listing $58, one listing was like $80. And I think $50 is not unfair for this. You get into the $65 mark and up, I'd still say it's okay, but, once you start getting above that, I'd love to see like S35VN or something like that. Now, from what I understand, AUS 10A holds up as well or better than S35VN in a lot of cases, but I haven't had firsthand experience with that, so I'm not going to say that with much confidence. EDC and Lace, if you pop by here, let us know, because all the stuff that I want to know. I love having you on the streams. Please come back. But, it's like for 55, 56 bucks, 57, yeah, it's okay. I can take that price. And I feel better because I traded for it, but, it treated me really well. The only ding on it is I had to modify it out of the box, and that's a pretty big hit to take. But outside of that, it's good. I would probably give this about an 8 out of 10. If I didn't have to fix this, it'd be a 9. And it was a minor fix, a minor modification, but I had to do that out of the box. That's a point off. Now, this thing is going in the pile for a live stream because I want to see how this handles Cardboard Slayer. I want to take one of these pocket tanks and go for it. And, I told Adam they were going to get the run through the gauntlet. So, and again, let's take a second to thank him for helping make this possible. But, yeah, so I love this thing. I hate that I had to modify it. Great knife, though. But all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. The subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all are still coming in. You'll help me hit the YouTube partner program. I cannot thank you enough for that. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. I've got 4 knives to give away at 2,000 subscribers. So get in the door. Try to win yourself a knife. We got some pretty cool stuff there. But comments, I love some feedback. If you got one of these, let me know how it treats you. If you had to modify it, let me know. And if you have beaten one of these things half to death doing work that's way harder than I'm capable of doing day to day, let us know how she does. But yeah, all that being said, y'all have a nice day.